Hey, what it do, fam? It's your boy, the Red Menace, 46, coming at you live from Dagu. This video was originally going to be very different. I was going to start with saying that I have a general distaste and borderline hatred for almost all VTubers. The very principle of VTubers has at the core one thing that really bothers me, and that's that the anime girl is real, but will still never love me back. A little while back, I started a self-improvement journey. I was doing a lot of self-reflection, meditation, changing my diet, and I started working out. I latched onto a friend at work who was a bodybuilder, and I've seen legitimate improvements in my life. Most recently, I have been trying to sever my ties with the loneliness industry. For those unfamiliar with the concept, I will give a very brief description that won't really do it much justice. The loneliness industry is an informal construct of all the services on the internet that would appeal to an individual suffering from loneliness. Almost all of these services end up becoming an addiction that will perpetuate the problem and be detrimental to the mental health of the individual partaking in them, and can even destroy their financial situation, the most glaring example of which being pornography. Today, however, I am choosing to speak on VTubers and the parasocial relationships associated with them. Normally, I try to keep my videos family-friendly and free of profanity or vulgarity. However, despite me being a YouTube partner with ads on some of my videos, I actively choose not to monetize my newer videos because I don't get enough views to really make any money, and I'm not going to waste the time of what few new viewers I get with 6 unskippable ads. I may deviate from my family-friendly pattern this video given the nature of the subject. Getting into it, if you somehow at this point do not yet know what a VTuber is, it is an individual who uses body and face tracking technology to copy and port their movements and facial expressions into a virtual avatar that can be drawn or 3D modeled to have any features that the individual chooses. Said individual will either create a personality or project their own onto this avatar and go by the name that they have given it in order to create content such as videos, live streams, or, in some instances, porn. This practice gives the individual a lot of versatility. They don't even necessarily have to be human. They can be tall or short, have any hair color, use a voice modifier, essentially make themselves an entirely different person for the sake of their content and keep it mostly separated from their daily life. My grievance with VTubers comes with how they generate revenue. These are individuals who get paid by receiving views, either through ads, sponsorships, or viewer donations. Because of this, it is common practice to sexualize or lewd their virtual persona. Maybe try to make it seem unintentional or humorous, but doesn't matter as long as you get the attention. They can also double dip by posting short clips from their live streams and putting ads on those clips, which also serves to attract new viewers to their live streams. In order to maintain viewership, though, they create the illusion of having a connection with their viewers, and in a way, they are very similar to a Japanese idol. Many VTubers have fan discords, virtual meetups, Minecraft servers, places where you can go and have a chance to meet them. But you will mostly be meeting their other fans. You usually have to pay for access to these through a subscription. The parasocial relationship that you develop with the VTuber has a very small chance of giving you a true social relationship with other fans of theirs. However, from my experience, this does not happen. You may be wondering what I mean by "from my experience." As prior stated, originally this video was supposed to be a completely different structure. I wanted to start a series where I would try to humorously save other people from the loneliness industry. I was going to infiltrate VTuber communities via Discords and Minecraft servers. I was going to build church buildings in their worlds, with the interiors being weight rooms. I was going to assume the personality of Pastor Red preaching of the Church of Iron in the non-competitive bodybuilding sect. I was going to attempt to annoy these VTubers as well as help their fans make improvements in their lives that would hopefully make them no longer rely on the parasocial relationship that they would have with the VTuber. I never really honestly expected it to work, because at the end of the day, I'm just an asshole in a Minecraft server telling people to go to the gym, stop jerking off and simping over a 2D girl that they watch be bad at video games 3 times a week. To carry out this plan, I had to get into a Discord, which was a business expense. Seeing what happens in the Discord honestly disgusted me. It was worse than I could have ever imagined. There may be hundreds of people in the server, but really only a small handful ever say anything. And a lot of them are just desperately competing for the attention of the VTuber that they are all throwing their money at and looking sad in the process. Being in a Discord, I observed the same individual. Whenever they would wake up, they would respond to every individual message that the VTuber had sent while they were asleep. But one of the server rules was that you could not ping the VTuber when replying to them. So it would just be a string of messages where if you wanted any context, you had to scroll up, sometimes for several minutes, through hours worth of conversation just to see what this person was talking about. Seeing this person constantly try to relate to, impress, or otherwise connect with someone who they would never physically meet, it made my gut wrench. That is what a true victim of the loneliness industry looks like. Reading through their messages, seeing the need for recognition and willingness to publicly shame themselves, and the jokes that they would make that just reeked of social awkwardness, reminded me of when I was at my worst. And it depressed me. I felt legitimately sorry for them. But I also knew that there was nothing that I could say that would matter to them. I thought back to when I was too invested in the industry. Remembered when I would pay $5 for someone to give a half-assed response to a direct message. I remembered when $100 for someone to say my name felt like it was worth it. I remembered the amount of stress I felt whenever I would look at my bank account, asking how I would survive for the next week, because I was just trying to desperately fill the void that was my social life, or lack thereof. That is where my hatred for VTubers initially spawned from. They know that they're creating a parasocial relationship, that their viewers are lonely and desperate for attention, and they harvest that for monetary benefit, and they can make a lot of money. They create the illusion of a meaningful connection and make it so that you don't want to go out and make friends or build a serious relationship. And the longer they have you, the worse off you are and the more money they make. The day I finally said this to myself and started trying to get better is the day that I would argue that my life truly began. And I have no idea when that was. Recently, I had my first genuine, positive encounter with a VTuber. Aside from getting into their Discord server, one of the things that they offered was a once-a-month-minute custom audio clip. I decided to humor them, and I wrote a script, proofread it, edited it, read through it a couple of times, used appropriate pauses for punctuation, added in natural pauses, determined that if read properly, it would not be more than 50 seconds. When they sent me the audio clip, I was surprised to see that it was over 2 minutes. When I listened to it, I was even more surprised to see that while they had clearly read the script I gave them, they were adding to it, and doing so with genuine concern. I will not say what I wrote, nor will I share the audio file, but I will say that what they said meant a lot to me. In 2 minutes, they expressed genuine interest and concern. And several times before that, they had actually directly interacted with me in their Discord server. I don't generally follow or adhere to gender politics, but out of a respect for this person, I will not be using gendered terms. L_XOX, despite some of their not safe for work background, was the first one to demonstrate a real connection with their viewers. Even bothering to remember names, have meaningful interactions, giving more than a half-assed response to a DM after you paid them just to see it. This singular VTuber changed my mind about this entire video with a 2-minute audio clip. While I still hold a generally negative opinion on VTubers, I do at least know that there are some who, while they still treat it like a job, are not solely farming the loneliness of young adults working dead-end jobs. I do plan on leaving their Discord server, and probably severing ties with them completely. However, I suppose that what I wanted to say in this video is that I think VTubers have a tendency to be pieces of shit. However, I do now know that there are good ones. And while the relationship is bound to be a parasocial one and ultimately bad for you, there is a chance that for some time it may give you what you genuinely need. And it may be what keeps you together until you have the strength to move on. To close out this video, I would just like to say, L Thank you. And Fifi. We got beef. You understand me? That's all I have for this video, guys. Have a good one. Unless you're in Manzanita, Oregon.